Hey guys, so today's solve and share starts with Javier. For lesson 4-1, we are doing multiplying decimals by powers of 10. So let's see what you got. Javier is helping his parents put up posters in their movie theater. Each poster has a thickness of 0 and 12 thousandths inch. It's very, 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 very small thickness, which is expected for a poster. How thick is a stack of 10 posters, 100 posters, and 1,000 posters? Pause the video and try it on your own in your book. And when you're ready, hit play again to check your answer. If anything else, you should have this to start. I just wrote out 12 thousandths 3 times 10 times 100 times 1,000. Hopefully we're able to try to solve this on your own, but if not, here we go. When I'm timesing a number by 10, it's like saying it's 10 times bigger. I need to move my decimal point to the right 1 time to make it 10 times larger. Boop. And where it ends up is my new place and my new answer. So 12 thousandths times 10 becomes 0 and 12 hundredths. On this one, 12 thousandths times 100 means it's getting 100 times bigger. I need to make this number 100 times bigger by moving the decimal place to the right 2 times. 1, 2, and my answer is 1 and 2 tenths. And finally, this number is going to become 1,000 times bigger. 1,000 has 3 zeros in it. I need to make it the decimal move 3 times to the right. And I end up with the answer 12. So if I have 10 posters, it's going to be 12 hundredths inches thick. If it's going to be 100 posters, it's going to be 1.2 inches thick. And if I have 1,000 posters to hang up in Javier's parents' movie theater, I'm going to have 12 inches thick of posters, which is a foot. So better hold them carefully. That'd be a lot of posters to drop. Let's take a look at the video together to see what the book has to say about multiplying decimals by powers of 10.
Multiplying decimals is like multiplying whole numbers. What patterns can help you multiply decimals by powers of 10? A baker has a 10-pound bag of pecans and a 100-pound bag of flour. How many cups of each ingredient does the baker have? Why do you multiply to find how many cups of each ingredient the baker has? You need to find how many cups there are in 100 groups of 3 and 63 hundredths cups of flour, and 10 groups of 4 and 2/10ths cups of pecans. So you multiply 3 and 63 hundredths times 100 and 4 and 2/10ths times 10. Look at the examples in the table. What pattern do you see in the table? Do you think the pattern will continue?
Well, I have 1 0 in my 10, 1 exponent in my exponential form, and when I have it times 10 to the first power, my decimal moved 1 time to get 36.3. Over here, 2 zeros, exponent of 2, move your decimal 2 times to get 363. 3 zeros, exponent 3, you got it. Move my decimal 3 times, except for this time, you're going to have an empty, which means you need to put in a placeholder 0. Will the pattern continue? Heck yes, it will. 4 zeros. 7 zeros. 21, that's a big number. 21 zeros.
When you multiply a decimal by 10, 100, or 1,000, you move the decimal point to the right the same number of places as the number of zeros in the 10, 100, or 1,000. The pattern will continue because the place value system follows a pattern. Use the pattern to find 3 and 63 hundredths times 100, or 10 squared, and 4 and 2/10ths times 10, or 10 to the first power.
The first one's easy because it's in the chart for you. Be observant. The second one, I want you to try on your own, and then I'm going to show you the answer in a second.
So 3 and 63 hundredths times 10 squared equals 363. And 4 and 2 tenths times 10 to the first power is equal to 42. The baker has 363 cups of flour and 42 cups of pecans. Continue the pattern to find the number of cups for 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, or 10,000 pounds of pecans. So, 100 pounds of pecans has 420 cups. 1,000 pounds of pecans has 4,200 cups. And 10,000 pounds of pecans has 42,000 cups. When you multiply a decimal by 10 to the second power, 10 to the third power, or 10 to the fourth power, you move the decimal point one place to the right for each power of 10.
Now you know how to multiply decimals by powers of 10.
Look at the bottom of page 166. The directions say complete the chart. What pattern do you see in the placement of the decimal point? I want you to fill out each of these boxes by multiplying each number by 10 to the first power, 10 to the second power, and 10 to the third power. And then in one sentence, try to tell me the pattern that you see in the placement of the decimal point. In other words, what happens to the decimal point when you're multiplying by a power of 10? When you're done, you can turn the video back on because I will have the answers in the boxes for you to check. But for now, pause the video. Double check your answers. How did you do? Give yourself a star for each column that you got correct. Then, let's do some practice. Go ahead and close out of this video so you can get to the next video on the practice section of lesson 4-1, which will be on the next page in your book, page 167.